A breakthrough that is allowing ALS patients to speak again. Here's ABC's Andrea Fujii.
This morning, a breakthrough for people who've lost their ability to speak due to ALS or a stroke. Researchers at UC Davis have found that artificial intelligence can turn a patient's speech-related brain signals into an audible voice.
This is really very good.
In 20
Fucking kidding me.
2023, Casey Harrell was implanted with sensors in his brain, and using his speech-related brain activity, the system was able to decode his words. First, they appeared only on a screen, but after more than a year, the system can now speak for him.
I will get there as soon as I can.
Doctors who led the study say it's life-changing.
That first moment when he tried to say a word and it appeared on screen, we had to pause because everyone in the room, including the research team, including me, started crying with joy.
The technology also allows Harold to vary his pitch from low to high.
They.
Doctors say this is just the beginning of their study. They plan to enroll more people and work to give patients back their voice.
There's a lot more work to be done, but it's very gratifying to know that you're helping this person and making this new technology possible.
Doctors say right now, just over half the transcribed words from the patient are intelligible. But within a matter of years, they hope to reach 100% and eventually make this device commercially available.
We turn now to a
There you go. Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in the gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. As we just witnessed in the video, it says, man speaks again in medical first brain implant breakthrough. And that's, that shit, it tells us, it speaks for itself. The beast system is operational and it's speaking, literally, as this man has gotten his voice back through brain implants and artificial intelligence. This is Esau's pseudoscience or pseudo-inventions that makes him a god in the sight of men. Because you have to understand that this devil, he wants to replace who you call God, all right, in Jesus Christ, which their name is Yahweh and Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, or Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, hence Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai, in the pure ancient Hebrew. Okay, Esau sets himself up as a power, okay, because in his mindset, he believes he's better than the Most High, and he believes he has a more perfect way than the Most High. And this is why everything is always artificially assimilated here, from the weather, the foods are manufactured, the weather is manufactured, the people are pretty much manufactured. Okay, with all these pseudo and witty inventions, Esau has declared himself a god. And this is another step towards the mark of the beast, because these are those miracles that was paid out in Revelation, the 13th chapter, about how him doing miracles in the sight of men. So when people see this, you have tons of sick people here in America that can't talk, whether they be paraplegic or deaf or physically maimed. You have what is called the Neuralink through Elon Musk's program or his business, giving people, they're able to use computer to brain interfaces, man, through these particular algorithms, which they link the so-called neurons of the mind, and they link it up with the computer, man. And before you know it, you're a full operational being. Okay, they showed you that in a movie called Upgrade, and we reference this movie quite a bit because it's it's really relevant. But it was a movie called Upgrade, when basically dude was involved in he was sabotaged. He was involved in a particular wreck because I believe his wife was in tandem with this corporation, and they, she I forgot the theme of what happened, but I think they sabotaged him because of basically I think they were just trying to promote their product, and to prove that it worked, they sabotaged the husband, and he was in a wreck, and he was injured through his spine. So he was basically a paraplegic. He couldn't walk. He couldn't do anything. He was physically maimed. So they basically they compromised him to be a test subject so they can put this chip in him called STEM, and STEM turned him into a super soldier, basically. You see? And eventually, at the end of the movie, he gave STEM consent to take over his body, and before you know, he was a full functioning operating being. So you better believe that these particular devices that they're putting in people is going to come with some type of consent, okay, to some type of takeover. Now, I can't tell you the ins and outs of it because, you know, it's more in depth through the spirit. But overall, if you pay attention to like these Google algorithms and so forth, if you look and pay attention to it, you're consenting to give away information all the time. Okay, even when you're going to a particular provider, or if you just signing something and you saying that you consent, they can sell your information to a third party, man. Okay, and they sell your information and they harbor whatever they want to do with it. Even when you downloading video games to the PS5, they give you a long list of stuff that you consent to, and you don't know what the hell you're signing. You just want to play the game, so you click agree, agree, agree. But before you know it, your information is marketed. So how much more about them putting a patent on your body? Because ultimately, when you get this technology in you, you don't own yourself anymore, man. Same thing with the C19. Everybody that took that jab, basically, you have a patent on you now. You're not owned, okay? Because that ordeal, what it did was it changed your, it basically changed your DNA, and they put a program in you that they own. So they're liable to turn you into whatever the hell they want to turn you into because you've given them consent over your body, man. That's why the scriptures say those that consented to them should be had in derision and a reproach and trodden underfoot. So this is a very dangerous technology because this is Esau's way of playing Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. And you heard the lady said, she said, eventually we're going to make it for commercial use. And in my opinion, I believe they have it already. Okay, just a matter of them rolling this information out and putting it out there among the masses, because you have hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of people that's in wheelchairs and that have all types of dementia and all other types of shit that's going on in their minds that they can't fully function. So this is a promising breakthrough for these people, which is another sales pitch. Okay, Esau playing the Most High. All right, so let's get a precept real quick. Book of 2nd Esdras 8, and I'm gonna start at verses 8, and I'm gonna start at verses 27. It says, "Regard not the wicked." It says, "Regard not the wicked inventions of the heathen." Okay, and this is a wicked invention because you're literally taking away people, or you're taking away the consent from people to be healed from the Most High, because the scriptures say healing comes through hearing the word, man, and believing and praying. Okay, the scriptures say those you that's sick, roughly paraphrasing it, go to the elders and let them pray over you. Okay, because you remember in the time of Yahweh Shai, man, you had men that was lame, that was physically, they couldn't walk. You know, it was one story that basically it was this. The angel said that the angels smit the waters, and people was going in the waters and getting healed. And it was this one man, he couldn't walk, he was lame, and they asked him, it was like, well, why haven't you got in the waters? And he said, well, people cutting me off and I can't really get around. So they took him and picked him up and put him in the waters. But even then, you know, Yahweh Shai healed him. And, you know, he basically said, well, look, this is the ordeal, go and sin no more, you know, roughly paraphrasing of that story. But Yahweh Shai healed people by putting hands on them, and ultimately due to their faith. Okay, you had the woman that was, I think she was had the issue of blood. It may have been 12 years or 14 years, if I can recall. And she went to every physician throughout Israel, and nobody can heal her infirmities. But she had faith in Yahweh Shai, and he healed her. Okay, something that you would go to a doctor for, or they can't diagnose your symptoms and all this other stuff. But a lot of times through prayer and fasting and believing, the Lord will just heal your infirmities, man. And you'll realize, like, over a course of time, you start to overcome certain illnesses in the body, and then certain things you just got to bear, because that's your cross to bear, right? But this man is trying to take away he's trying to take away belief in Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, man. And this is why this is such a dangerous thing. But it says here, Regard not the wicked adventures of the heathen and desire, it says, but the desire of those that keep thy testimonies and afflictions, man. Okay? So the Lord is not going to disregard your witty inventions because there's going to be a judgment for it. And those people that consent into this mark of the beast, hey, there will be a fiery judgment at the end for you, man. This is why we're pushing this information out so hard, because hey, it's our job to warn our people to not fall for the sales pitch, because Esau is going to sell this thing on a national scale. And people are going to buy into it because, I mean, you know, people, they want quick turnaround time. Okay, people don't want to resort into prayer and fasting. Oh, that takes too long. The Lord takes too long to come. You know, people want, it's like fast food. You know, the average person would rather go buy a cheeseburger from McDonald's before going to the store and getting the ingredients to make you a healthy cheeseburger. They would rather just go to McDonald's and spend the money that they would spend on a healthy version of a burger. You know, 20, 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes out your day to prepare the food and eat and be fulfilled. But instead, everybody get it quick and die anyway. Okay, and that's the mindset of this wicked present world. All right. Let me look this up. Looked up the word inventions, and it came up a few times. I know it's in 2nd Esdras 13 and 37 when Yahweh Shai come. Matter of fact, it start here. Let's start at 2nd Esdras 13, and I'm gonna start at verses 35. It says, "But he shall stand upon the top of the Mount Zion, and Zion shall come, and shall be showed to all men, being prepared and builded, like as thou sawest the hill graven without hands." It says, "And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations," man. Okay, starting with this beast system, because you had that guy by the name of Chief Ephraim talking about, well, what nation is gonna institute the mark if it's the chip? Like, what kind of question is that, man? Okay, read Revelation 13, man. Who is the beast system? When you understand who the beast system or who the beast is, then you can answer your own question. All right, we don't have to continue to go and break that thing down to you, bro. You should understand that. But a lot of you jakes, man, you ain't really in this thing. You just in it because you like the accolades that comes with it. You know, you like the positive talk. Oh, well, good job, brother. Oh, you a great. You know, they like all of the gimmick, all the flattering and all that other stuff, man. We ain't got time for that. Either you like the videos or you do or you don't. Simple, bro. You know, but he's gonna ask, well, who's gonna implement it? What the hell you think gonna implement it? Esau's gonna implement it. Okay, and like Apostle Tahar always say, it's really the Most High's chip. It's the Lord's chip. All right, he's just gonna administrate it on the left hand side through this damn devil, because Esau is the left hand of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Okay, this is what it is, point blank, period. And it says here, and he shall rebuke the wicked adventures of those nations which for their wicked life are fallen into tempests. Okay, so yeah, man, this ordeal will be destroyed, and those of you that consent into it will be destroyed. But this is what it is. This is the new way. Everything is being done through AI. Things is done innovatively through computer systems and algorithms. Hey, they say that AI can take over 40% of the jobs within the next couple of years, man. And if they really want it to be, they can take over 99% of the jobs. But like Elon Musk said, he said, well, who's going to throw the basketball? Who's going to dunk the basketball or play football? Because you don't want to watch a bunch of born AI shoot basketballs. But when you look at the videos now, hell, they can literally create a game using artificial technology. And I believe that's what Esau was going for. Because hey, that way he ain't got to pay these ball players millions and millions of dollars when he can just create AI. Because look at it, artificial, look at video games, man. Look at the programming on video games and look at how those games look. You know, so that's the wave of the future according to this devil, you know, which is part of their new world order. Let's go from here to the book of Genesis. I think it's 11. Yep, let's start at verses 11, and I'm going to start at verses modern day Tower of Babel. And let's start at verses 11 and 1. It says, and the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And this is why we go into the modern day Tower of Babel, because everybody is getting under consent of this one banner, right? It says, and it came to pass as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar, and they dwelt there. And they said one to another, go to, and let us make brick and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime they had for mortar. And they said, go to and let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach into the heaven. And that's spiritual now because, hey, Esau is literally trying to play the Most High. Okay, his technology has reached into the heavens, as it mentions in Obadiah, the 1st chapter, you know, about how he set his nest among the stars. This man has space junk. He has satellites. He has fiber optics at the bottom of the ocean, which communicates with the satellites, man, from space. And this is how you get your internet, man. You know, but it says, let us build a city and a tower whose top may reach into heaven, and let us make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men builded. And Yahweh said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they began to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. So this is where we're at now. That's why this devil has to be stopped, man. Because, hey, King David said in Psalms, it says, let them be taken in the devices which they have imagined. And that goes into this technology, man, because, hey, I did a lesson yesterday about what would Yahweh Shai say about a technocracy, and ChatGPT was on point about how not giving your spirit over to this convenience, man, because it's too convenient. Here you can get a whole Bible history in ChatGPT. Just type in the history of the Bible, and it'll give you everything you need to know. It's just like, damn, you know, make you feel real stupid, but it's convenient because, you know, it's needed information. So it's bittersweet. It's useful, but at the same time, when you put it into wicked hands, it could become very dangerous. And that's what the whole Mission Impossible movie was about. Esau, or the United States government, trying to control AI and use it as a weapon so they can control the world, man. And that's what we're witnessing. Let's go from here to the book of Thessalonians. Where we at? Thessalonians. Nope. 2 Thessalonians 2. 2 Thessalonians 2. And I'm going to start at verses 3. It says, let no man deceive you by any means. It says, for that day should not come except there come a falling away first, that man of sin may be revealed. Who is that man of sin? The Edomite, man. All right. They're being revealed. And this is why the small hat, or the JOO, is literally pulling his sideburns out, because he's being exposed. Okay, that New World Order has been totally exposed, has been ripped up. You got what you call whistleblowers, and you got men of their own caliber that's coming out and exposing them. You got Glenn Beck, you got Redacted, you got Kim Iverson, you got Whitney Webb, all right, you got Nations Conspire, you got Richie from Boston, you got this dude Rand Paul, which he's an insider, you know. He's part of the whole ordeal. And you got several, Alex Bone Jones, man. You got a lot of these guys that's coming out and exposing their own hegemonies, man. Which Alex Jones, you know, he claimed to be a Native American, so we don't know. But regardless of it, man, you know, he's all for the patriotic survival of this corporation called America, a.k.a. Babylon the Great. And it says here, the son of perdition, which perdition means destruction, right? It says, who opposed and exalted himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he as Yahweh sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the power. That's what this is all about, replacing the Most High with the artificial Holy Spirit. And that's all AI is an artificial version, a lower level artificial version of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. That's all AI is, man. It's a demon. It's a wicked left-hand spirit. All right, that's just what it is, and it's instantaneous. Okay, you don't have to wait on it. You don't have to wait for the Most High to move. You can type in some on AI, like they got shit now coming out that somehow to link you up to these particular interfaces when it comes to like medical equipment. It will be able to read and scan your body and tell you every infirmity that you have going on in your body. Let's just say if you got Parkinson's, whatever, the machine can detect, okay, well, you have Parkinson's, and there's a likelihood that you will get this and this and that and take this treatment. You know what I'm saying? Instantaneous like that. That's why this man is the devil. He has to be stopped. Revelation 13, and I'm going to start at verses 13. It says, and he doth great wonders, so that he maketh fire coming down from heaven and on the earth in the sight of men. Yeah, you know, Bosnia bombings, you know, the atom bomb, the nuclear bomb, his weapon, his technology. That's all miracles, man. All right. And it says, and deceived them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles, which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, which is this system, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. So this takes on the old imperialistic style of the ancient Roman Empire. It's the same system, just remodernized, man. What happened then happened now, just modernized. All right, because the Romans, that was the fourth beast, that was the final beast, and Yahushua came on the scene during the time of the fourth beast, man. Because you had the Greeks, which was the third beast, but the Greco-Romans, which pretty much were Edomites, at the latter half, they merged and became one empire. So the Greeks and Romans merged and became, the Roman Empire, or the Greco-Roman Empire, which this is a modern day Greco-Roman system. And this is why you see a lot of Roman customs and Greco customs, even in this world, from gymnasiums to sports to Greek customs to Senate houses to political parties and to elections and all this stuff, man. Taxes, feudalism, all that, man. But it says here, and had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast shall be killed. All right. And this is where we at now. The image. That's what this is part of. All this brain interface are all part of the image. But the chip, the MOTB, the RFID chip, will be the capstone that connects it all together. That's why all the digital stuff is being erected. So the chip being the brain interface behind how this works, that's going to connect everything, man. Okay, you can build a computer, but without the gig processor, without the chip, it ain't going to work. You may have components of it that can function, but it's going to fully come into totality once you incorporate that chip, man. Same thing with those Ford vehicles. They couldn't drive them because they didn't have those computer chips in them. They were built up, they had working parts, but that chip, that brain interface is everything that controls it, man. And that's what makes the world goes around, And it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And all that is constituted in a mark. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that have understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. So with that, all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Lord's will, you will edify into the next lesson. Shalom.